Gaskets, gaskets, gaskets. What a mess. So when I had this engine machine down, the machine shop who I was referred to from one of my clients who's a mechanic, and he's like, oh, I'll go to see my guy. He did my Ranchero. It looks great, runs good. And I really didn't know much about what I was getting involved with. He said I didn't need to deck the block, and so I didn't. He said it's in good condition and you'll have the thick gasket. It's gonna seal fine. But trying to get a little more power out of the motor, and after everything's kind of like said and done, the machine work's done, I'm put the crankshafts in, and then I dawn on my information that Quench, one of the things that I really didn't learn about before I got involved was Quench. So I measured my top dead center to the deck, and it's quite a bit of room there because rebuild pistons are shorter and it's original deck height. So you're gonna lose a few, fractions of compression, and that's gonna be more than what this engine initially had, which would be like less performance. Sure, I'm putting better carburetor, probably headers, 4-barrel, a better intake manifold, it's bored out a little bit. With that said, bottom line is there's a bigger gap there. So instead of trying to just put on the thick blue Felpro gasket, I wanted to do something thinner. And I looked into different options, and really there is no other option. The heads I have are machined, so I think they have the proper smoothness for this type of gasket. But I don't think my block has the proper smoothness for this type of gasket. Is it in good shape? Yes, but good shape for putting a blue Felpro type standard rebuild gasket on it. Talked to another machine shop. He's like, well, it'd be good if you can get that thinner gasket on there, and if I'm going to run it outside the vehicle and I blow a head gasket, well, so be it. That's part of the deal here. But he thinks I'd be okay by spraying down the gasket, the steel shim 16 thou gasket with copper coat. And he said you could even do the block too, and the heads. So I'm probably gonna paint the block with copper paint, gasket paint, copper sealer paint, and then spray them down, the gaskets themselves, both sides, with gasket spray. So I have two products, one in a can. One in a can for the block, and let that set up, and then do the spray version right before I'm ready to bolt everything down on the gaskets, and they'll be tacky. He said put them on when it's tacky. And then as far as doing the head, I don't think I'm going to do the head. I think I have a smooth enough finish. Is it mirror finish? No, but it is machine finish. So I think I'm going to just stick with just coating the gasket itself for the head side, and then doing the block for the engine side with the paint. And bolt them down and let the chips fall where they may. I mean, we're hot rodding here, right? So that'll be what the plan is. This is, now a gasket that I had was another one which was thin like this, but when I got it, it said something not to be used with lightweight heads. And those, my friend, are called lightweight heads. So I returned these gaskets, which look very similar to these, but for some reason they're different. And I don't know if that was the right thing, if I should have said regardless, use it with the lightweight heads, but I didn't want to at least chance that. The instructions tell you you could use it on all the heads. And if your block surface is not smooth, you can use sealer. So I'm doing what the instructions say, which is if it's not perfectly smooth, you can use sealer. It's part of the instructions, so I guess it could work. They don't tell you what kind of sealer. I think they're trying to cover their ass. but I'm going to use what I've read and saw on YouTube mostly about gaskets and sealers and steel shim gaskets versus MLS and composites. So we're going to go, I'm going to do it, we're going to try it and see how this thing goes.